I want you to do something for me right now. I want you to tell me exactly what you do. So I meet you and I ask you, what do you do? And I want you to tell me exactly what you do in the next 3 seconds. What did you say to yourself? Did you say, oh, I'm just doing a little job. I just have one small job. I just have one small business. I just have this thing I do by the side. Well, I'm just managing. I'm just doing one little side hustle. And I heard it. And not only did I also hear you say that, your subconscious mind also heard it as well too. Your nervous system also heard it as well too. And so did every potential client that you've probably come across that have ever asked you what you do also heard it as well too. Let me tell you the truth. Consistently using that word side hustle is programming your reality. And I know it's a popular word that's been used in today's world. Everybody's saying, oh, side hustles you can do, side hustles this, side hustles that. But that is also one of the major reasons why you're also being small. That's the major reason why your business is not growing the way you ought to. Because that word hustle is literally programming you for broke. And I'm going to show you exactly why in this video. Let me start by telling you the story of a lady. Let's call her name Maya. I hid an intentional name for a reason. This lady is a dietitian coach, but when she started, she works as a dietitian at the hospital. And for over 5 years, she was doing little things by the side, right? She would have people come to her, make meal plan, all of that stuff. And she was just doing it just to get a little from $1,000 per month. And despite doing all of that alongside with her job, she was a single mom. She was still struggling big time. What changed for her was the moment she went to a conference and she heard some say things like, what matters is how you present yourself, how you're able to get what is called your unique selling proposition, right? And then she discovered in that same conference, she met somebody that is not as qualified as she is, but is making 10 times more than she's making. And she discovered how she has been undercharging herself. Why is she undercharging herself? Because she's not qualified. It's not because she's not good at what she does. It's not because she's not qualified. It's because of the language that she was using. Let me tell you the change that Maya made. She decided that day that she was going to rebrand herself. She was no longer calling herself this little side gig anymore. She switched focus completely and changed how she began to see herself. And so instead of just saying, oh, I'm just a person that help people with diet, she started saying, I run a nutrition and wellness practice that is focused on helping women who experience chronic fatigue, say, lose weight sustainably. You see that statement? And because of how she positioned it, let me tell you what began to happen to her. She began to get clients at that level. So instead of just doing 1 or 2 little meal plan that you can easily put into AI, and AI literally would give you the meal plan for free, she packaged her expertise. Someone is going to say, but who is going to pay me huge amounts of money for coaching them with career? They can go to Fiverr or go to Google or go to all these AI apps and get their resume for free. It's because of how you are positioning it. You see, I need to let you know that language is very powerful. And which time you keep telling yourself, little bit, I'm just doing something by the side, I'm just driving Uber, I'm just doing Uber Eats, I'm just doing delivery. It's just nothing much, just to get a little amount of money here and there. Let me tell you what you're doing. You are saying that I do not deserve to earn big. I just want to do something small by the side. And that's why that small thing is keeping you poor and broke. You see, when you keep telling you that I just want to just do it by the side, it's nothing serious, it's nothing this, it's not, that is the major reason why you keep jumping from one side hustle video to another side hustle video. You keep jumping from one website to another website because you're not building anything sustainably. It's okay to start at that level. It's okay to try to build something by the side, but do not stay at that level. But most people stay there for years, and then you wonder why it looks as if nothing is changing. You wonder why it looks as if it's still the same circle. You get money, you spend, then you work, you have to work in for the same money, then you spend again, and it's the same thing year in, year out. Nothing is changing. Language is very powerful. When you use that word hustle, do you know what hustling really means? That means you are in this circle of hamster wheel that never stop. You know what? I'm just hustling. I need to just this side hustle that I'm just doing, side hustle. You're trying to tell your brain that you do not deserve rest. You do not want to get to the point where systems and structures work for you. You want to keep doing, you have to keep trading time for money. Language is not something that's neutral. You see, every single time that every word you use, and that's why it's very powerful, you mind what you speak, because we are speaking spirit, right? You see, every time you speak words, its words carry what is called a psychological code, carry a set of instruction. So when you keep saying side hustle, let me tell you what your brain hears. Your brain hears secondary, temporary. It's not the main thing. It's just by the side. And so it's just like when you are in a house and you just have that spare guest room. You do not take care of it except if visitor, right? Probably if you have a visitor coming in, you do not pay attention to your guest room. You're just like, oh, that's just by the side, just in case. And so that's the same way you are taking your side hustle. I'm just starting this business. And for a long time, when I was coaching women, initially, when I was doing my digital marketing business, then before I restructured things in my company, I would train all these women, and I was trying to sell a course at the time and then sell coaching. And then I discovered that some of these women would not get results and some would get results. And it's the same process, it's the same structure. Why are some getting results and some are not getting results? And sometimes it's even the one that even works hard that doesn't get results. And so for a long time, I carried this guilt in my heart. I was wondering, am I a bad coach? Am I somebody that does not know how to train other people well? Or is the system broken? I would have been worried if nobody was getting results, but we're getting and some were not getting. And I discovered that it is exactly these women come in with the mindset, and that's if you want to work with me, I want you to have me as your coach. You cannot afford to come in with the mindset of side hustle. If you take this business as side hustle, do not even pay me a single dime. That was one of the changes I had to make. You can't afford to, because I discovered that these other women that were not getting results, they were just coming in with the mindset of it's just by the side. And because you come in with that mindset that it's just by the side, that's how your brain treats it. Something secondary. You don't treat it like a business. Your mind begins to shift. You treat it like something by the side. You don't pay attention to it. Your brain treats it like it's not that important. If you know that this is what is going to eventually take you out of your 9-to-5 job, you need to put in structures and systems in place. There's a courage you put into it. I discovered that some of these women were just treating it like, well, I'm not sure, but let's just try. And so at the slightest space of problem, they quit. And what did they do? They jump to the next shining object syndrome. That is why it looks like you are going about this hamster wheel and not stopping. Every business model is hard. I don't care what they sell to you. Everybody that is running ads today are trying to sell to you the big dream. They will try to downplay every other business model, but let me tell you, no matter the business model you're doing, you will face obstacle. And so when you come in and you are saying, just doing this by the side, let me tell you what that does. It's indirectly telling your brain that, you know what, this is not important. And so subconsciously, you are telling yourself it's not important. And so at the slightest bit of any challenge, you just run away and jump to the next side, and you wonder why you're not getting results. So you see, your brain has what is called a reticular activating system called the RAS. Let me give you a little neuroscience lesson. It will be very quick. You see, the RAS or your RAS acts like a filter, right? Out of the billions of information that you receive every second, your RAS decides what you pay attention to. And so you see, you tell your RAS what matters by when you keep repeating something over and over again. What you're trying to tell your brain is that this thing actually matters to me. So let me explain it in this way. So when you keep telling yourself that this is just one little side hustle, nothing serious, you keep telling that what is important to you through repetition, through belief, and through the language that you are saying to yourself. And so when you keep telling yourself that it's a side hustle, your brain treats it like an optional thing. You treat it like a secondary thing. You treat it like something that's just by the side, something that is not important. And so what usually happens is that at the end of the day, you categorize it as something less work than what it is. I'm not talking about doing about it. And so you train your brain to run away at the slightest sight of problem. Your brain is designed to keep you safe. I'm sure some of you already know that. Your brain is designed that to make sure that you do everything possible to keep you safe. It doesn't want you taking risks. It doesn't want you doing things that are outside the status quo. And so when you are trying to start a side business or do something by the side, your brain is trying as much as possible to make sure that you are safe. So you are just telling yourself, well, I'll just do this by the side. And then you weigh the risk and the return. Well, nothing bad. Even if I see an extra $500 a month, an extra $1,000 a month. You see, these ladies that I work with, the ones that were getting results were people that had strict vision for this. And I understand when you're trying to do something for the first time, you don't know, you are not sure. But you see, the ones that were not getting results were the ones that said to me, well, if I can just get an extra $2,000 a month, I just want to do it by the side. I just want to do something part-time. They never got the results. Even if you find that you are starting it part-time, even if it's okay, you are starting it by the side, but that should not be where your main vision and focus is. So when you just keep saying it, you don't build systems. You do not build structure. You don't tell people about it boldly because it's just by the side. It's something you feel ashamed of, right? It's different from you saying, I own a business. I run my firm. I'm the CEO of my firm. It's not pride. You see, when you do those things, then you are no longer seeing yourself as just a side hustle. Then you are seeing systems, you are seeing structures, you are seeing legacy. That's what you are seeing. Because everything, and that's what you would see. That is exactly what you will see. Check your revenue at the end of the month. Check the person that thinks like a CEO and takes it like a business owner, and check the person that just says it's just by the side. Let me give you a quick example. You have two women, same business, same skills, same energy, just like the one I gave you earlier. And these two women comes to you. They are the same talent, the same potential. Let me even make it better. Let's say woman A is much more even talented than woman B. Woman A comes to you and says to you and introduces herself at the networking event, maybe a conference, a mastermind, and says, I just do like a little bit of coaching on the side or consulting by the side. Or she comes to you and tells you, I just sell little things by the side. It's not really a full business yet. I'm just figuring it out. I'm still doing my coaching practice and all of that. Woman B introduces herself. Woman A is much more talented than woman B. Woman B introduces herself. And then she tells you, I run a coaching firm that helps men and women double their income in 90 days. Now be honest with me, who are you going to go for? If you actually need her services, who are you going to go for? Woman A or woman B? I'm sure we all know the answer, right? Woman B. Why did you go for woman B? Because she's very articulate at what she does and she's not doubting her clear proposition. So when you are doing all these things and you're like, well, it's nothing serious, it's just something by the side, you are shooting yourself in the foot. That word, hustle, just doing it, it's costing you. And that's why you keep jumping from one hustle to another hustle. Well, coaching is not working, let me jump. E-commerce is not working, dropshipping is not working, let me jump. Don't get me wrong. There are times in business, and I'm going to talk about that, where you need to pivot. But it's different from shining object syndrome. So we're going to change that today. So if you're in business, I don't care what you're doing. And the same thing also applies in your career as well. But today I'm talking to business owners. The same thing applies in your career as well too. You cannot afford to downplay yourself. How you see yourself is how other people are going to see you. The Bible says that when they saw, it said they were like giants in our mind. Your mind has a lot to play. We're going to change that today. And I want to give you a practical identity upgrade. You're going to commit to something for the next 30 days. And don't forget, at the end of every video, I usually give you a free PDF, right, that contains a very comprehensive PDF that is highly quality, that contains study guides, playbook, action playbook, journal, declaration, everything 100% free. You can download it in the description below. So we're going to commit to something. So why I'm saying that is because I want you to download that PDF and to help you, if you have to print it out, so that it's going to help you to be able to commit to this, right? So I'm going to give you a practical identity upgrade and you're going to commit to this for 30 days. Now, starting today, you're not going to refer to your work as a little business by the side. That is going to completely change today. It's not a side hustle. It's not a small business. It is your company. And you're going to treat it as such. Because what happens is when you begin to see it as a proper company, how you handle your business dramatically changes. So you are not trying to figure it out. You are building strategic. You are what? Grow. You're not just doing it by the side, trying to figure out what works, trying to figure out the quickest way to get rich quick. That's the fastest way to become broke. Don't even try it. So you're not just going to do this by the side. You have a primary business. And if you are still working at your 9 to 5 job, that's fine. You have a primary business and a job. But the language change is not just enough. You have to also see yourself as one. So instead of telling yourself, oh, I'm just doing a little hair business by the side, tell yourself, I have a luxury hair studios that make women feel beautiful and confident. That sounds better, doesn't it? Instead of just saying, I coach, why don't you tell yourself, I run a coaching practice that helps people get back this and this, whereby you are able to quantify it. You see yourself. You see, one of our companies that we run, it's a lead generation company that we help business put sales systems in place. And I don't just see it as something. I'm not your regular agency. I was telling my business partner, this is not a regular. I was telling my business partner, I was telling my team, this is not a regular agency that just begs for scrap. We run things differently. We handle, what is sales? Sales is like the lifeblood of any organization, and we are the lifeblood of your company. When you see it that way, you carry yourself with so much confidence. Even if you are not there yet, your brain begins to think, and life begins to give you situations that will make you want to upgrade yourself and see yourself as such. So instead of saying, I just do bookkeeping, I operate a financial management firm for small businesses so that they can focus on what they do best. If you make and sell physical products, what problem is that physical product solving? Even if it's candles, I'm the owner and founder of Y&Z Candles. Because of my candles, people live in a well-scented home. They love to stay in their home. You don't want to stay in a home that smells horribly. So you are solving a pain point. So I want you to know that you are not doing it by this. Stop calling it a side hustle. If it's called a side hustle, that's why you keep jumping from one thing to another. And that's not how it's meant to be. So that sounds somehow, but I want you to start practicing. Start saying it loud to you every day. Download the free worksheet. Start saying it to yourself every day. Write it out every day. Say it to yourself every day. You are not doing a side hustle. You run a business. You run a real company. I don't care if you are the only staff right now. So it's not just enough for you to now say, Joy, I now call my business a luxury business. I now put it well. The CEO level behavior must also follow, right? And here is what usually is going to look like before the money arrives. You set business hours, a business email, you've registered your company, you have a defined offer, product with a defined price, you can track your revenue, what is going to what, know your numbers, you invest in your business. You don't act till you feel ready. You act your way into identity. I usually say something and it applies in business. Where you want to be and where you are already exists. Where you want to be already exists. But you see, those two people are two different identities. You cannot enter into that version with this current identity that you're carrying right now. So that is the major reason why that transition has to happen. That's the major reason why you have to stop calling things just a little thing by the side. If you want to live a life of just to be scrapping by, then that's fine. But if you really want to live the life, that freedom you desire, then stop calling it a side hustle. So I want you guys right now to download the free worksheet and follow the lessons there. It's going to really help you a whole lot. I'm going to see you guys in my next video.